Hello there, people of the internet. Today we're going to talk about what to expect with your particular 5.56 barrel length. So most of the people that watch these videos, tend to be gun guys, and gun guys tend to look for exceptions in the rule. We tend to find the best possible things that we can find and the best combinations for whatever job it is that we need done. But we're going to be discussing what the average person's going to be doing. So the average person for their AR is going to be a 16 or a 20-inch barrel. There are shorter ARs out there, I will acknowledge that, and what to expect if you have a shorter AR, we're going to go ahead and include the 14.5-inch with that 16-inch. Maybe you got a pin and weld system. The 14.5 and the 16-inch are so gosh darn similar with ballistics to the point where the differences are going to be completely negligible, especially whenever we talk about ammunition types, which we're going to be discussing in this video. So if you have anything shorter than a 14.5-inch barrel for your AR, what to expect? Expect a fireball, because those things are absolutely screaming. So if you have a shorty AR, odds are you have that set up for a particular job, a particular task, with a particular mindset. That right there tends to lean less from a general purpose rifle and more into a special role rifle or a specialty rifle that has a particular job already thought up for it. And that's just not something that the average person does. That's something that gun guys do. And it's something that like people like you and me do whenever we think, hey, what if this one off chance situation happens and I need a particular setup with a particular rifle? That's something that we like to daydream about, and then we go out and we get that particular setup because we're like, oh, this would be cool in this particular situation. But general purpose rifles are definitely the way to go. So most people are going to be rocking a 16-inch or a 20-inch AR, and most people are going to be using lead core 55 grain bullets or green tips. I've noticed that the lead core 55 grain projectiles tend to be more popular and more common with people just because green tips, those are a 5.56 only round. But the 55 grain lead core, you get those in both 223 and 5.56. So realistically, what to expect from your barrel, if you're not shooting beyond 250 yards, don't worry about it. If you have a 16-inch or a 20-inch, don't worry about it. If you are somebody who's not shooting beyond 250 yards and you're concerning yourself between 223 or 5.56 ammunition, don't worry about it. Literally every combination with every rifle of a 16 or 20-inch barrel with 223 or 5.56 ammunition, it will fragment and tumble relatively reliably within 250 yards. A lot of people like to panic about that, but a lot of people can't manage to hit even a decent group at 100 yards, let alone the 250 yards that an AR would be capable of touching out at. Now, if you're an actual shooter, like I'm sure a lot of people watching these videos are, if you're an actual shooter and you're touching out beyond that 250 yard mark, that's whenever we get to play around with some numbers. With the 16-inch barrel, there's a lot of caveats with barrel length, where barrel length matters a lot less than the ammunition type it is that you're using. Like, for example, if you run that 16-inch barrel, I got a 16-inch right here to show just how long that is. If you run that 16-inch barrel and you're running your Full Metal Jacket 223 ammo, you're going to get about 2,900 feet per second approximately. But you swap that out for some 5.56, like proper mil-spec 5.56, you're looking at more like 3,000, some brands even reaching up to 3,100 feet per second from that 16-inch barrel. So your performance is going to be significantly better based off of the brand of ammunition that you're running as opposed to your actual barrel length. Same thing with your 20-inch barrels. The brand matters more than the actual barrel length. If you get proper mil-spec 55 grain 5.56 to run through a 20-inch barrel, you're looking at like 3,250 feet per second, give or take. And that's a pretty gosh darn decent velocity. But if you go out and you get some M193, that's a commercial brand that's not reaching those full military spec velocities, you're looking at more like 3,100 feet per second. And that is the velocity that you would get from a 16-inch barrel with proper mil-spec 5.56. So if you're getting 3,100 feet per second with commercial 5.56 from your M16 20-inch barrel, and you're getting that same velocity with proper mil-spec 5.56 from your 16-inch barrel, then does barrel length really matter? I think ammunition type matters a lot more than barrel length in that particular case. Or if you're going to go and run basically any kind of 5.56 through your 16-inch barrel, you're going to get better performance from that 5.56 than you would trying to run 223 ammunition from a 20-inch barrel. Like 223, 55 grain from a 20-inch barrel like this, you're probably going to get about 3,000 feet per second. Versus that 3,100 feet per second with that proper 5.56 ammunition from that 16-inch. Don't stress barrel lengths. Stress the ammunition that you're getting and the ammunition that you're using. Don't go out and just get yourself a box of ammunition just because it says, oh, this says 5.56 on the box. Look it up, because not all 5.56 is the same. I know X-Tac on their box, I can't remember what it is that they say, but they're pretty gosh darn close with their velocities. But then there's other brands where they'll make just wild claims with the capabilities of their velocities that they'll just never be able to reach because they're going 200 feet per second slower. Just because it says 5.56 on it does not mean that it's going to reach those 5.56 velocity. Like, for example, Federal 5.56 55 grain stuff, I've chronographed it myself, multiple batches and multiple instances on multiple days. And that stuff tends to go about 150 feet per second slower than actual mil-spec 5.56. Brand matters a lot more than your barrel length. I could set up that 16-inch barrel to get better velocity than that 20-inch barrel. Now, if we're running the same ammunition, of course the 20-inch barrel is going to get more velocity. That's just physics. But there's more things to look at than just your barrel length. So, whenever it comes to the expectations of your rifle and what to expect with your particular barrels, man, there's so many variations and so many variables on things that you can do yourself to set up whatever it is that you're doing. But if you do something wrong, or you do something that is not properly to spec, how am I trying to say that? If you do something with the hopes of getting the best possible advantages, but you don't follow the right steps, then it doesn't matter the good things that you did to get the best possible advantages, because you're still not going to get the greatest of things. Like if you go out and you get yourself a 20-inch barrel and you're like, I'm going to get the best possible velocity, and then you stock up on the cheapest bottom of the barrel 223 ammunition that you can find, then the guy with the 16-inch that's stocked up on like Lake City or PPU proper spec 5.56, he's going to get better performance from that 16-inch than you will with your 20-inch. So as far as the expectations of your actual barrel length, there's more that goes into a rifle than just the barrel length. And we haven't even talked about twist rates. So don't stress barrel length. Don't stress... a lot of people put so much emphasis in it. Bullet type and bullet velocity absolutely matters more. Like, if you are just panicking over 5.56, dude, go out and get yourself some expanding ammunition, just a few magazines worth, for just-in-case purposes. You can go out and get your full metal jacket stuff for playing around at the range. But you know what I don't have to worry about with those expanding rounds? I don't have to worry about tumbling. I don't have to worry about fragmentation and yawing and all of the things that you got to worry about with a full metal jacket round, so you don't just get an ice-picked wound through a target. With those right there, that particular brand, that particular projectile is designed to expand all the way out to, like, if memory serves me correctly, 1,800 feet per second. So I could touch out to some pretty gosh darn significant distances and get reliable expansion from those polymer tip rounds, as opposed to those full metal jackets, which don't expand, they fragment. You guys know what I'm talking about. So don't stress it, especially if you're not shooting beyond 250 yards. If you're not a skilled shooter, but you're worrying about this stuff, your priorities are not where they're supposed to be, and you got to go out and get the skills necessary to be able to worry about this stuff. If you can't shoot at 250 yards, quit stressing. Thanks for watching, folks. I appreciate your time. Like, subscribe, share. Description below is a link to all sorts of stuff. Go check it out. You guys go off. Have yourself a fantastic day. I'll see you on the next episode.
while since I've done this. Bonnie and Clyde be damned. Poor man's Garen. It's a shame that bolt-action shotguns aren't more mainstream.